Okay. Let's have a chat, shall we? All right, so today's agenda is going to be a research day, basically. But before we get too into it, let's discuss a little bit. The primary project that we're going to be working on today is the Tabletop Role Playing Game book. For people who don't know, I probably quite a while ago now, like a year ago now, maybe it was a year ago. Oh God, I hope it wasn't a year ago. I don't know. Some point in time ago, I discussed the fact that I'm going to be doing a research project into tabletop role-playing games and communal storytelling. I have done some real basics. I've basically done some preliminary interviews with players. I have done a little bit of reading, and I've kind of mapped out a little bit about where I think I want to go and kind of how I think I want the research to progress, like what kind of points I'm trying to make. Whether or not that ends up being the case as I continue to do the research, I don't know, but I like to have at least some kind of generalized roadmap. And unfortunately, that's kind of all I've managed to do. I basically had made a roadmap of how I was planning on doing studies into actual play podcasts. So these are podcasts where people are playing tabletop role-playing games and then putting that out just for people to listen to and enjoy. I did that, and then basically that was kind of all I managed to do before all of the house stuff hit the fan for my, personal life. So I had to look for a new house, I had to move, and I had to then deal with some of the problems that were going on in the new house. So I basically haven't worked at all, I think, on the tabletop role-playing game book since, I want to say like February or March, and it is currently the beginning of June. So at the very least, it's been like 3 months since I've been able to even look at it. Unfortunately, when you kind of have to rearrange things and figure out what you're cutting out in order to be able to handle life stuff, the thing that doesn't really have as firm of a deadline as everything else does tend to get put on the back burner, and that was the tabletop role-playing game book. Today is kind of all about resetting. It's all about figuring out what it is that I need to be doing, what it is that I'm doing next, where I am at, where I am going, those kinds of things. Oh God, I hope this isn't too shaky. I don't know if the camera is shaking right now. I am doing laundry, and the laundry machine is in the room right below my office, and it shakes my desk every time. Hopefully it's fine. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, today is all about figuring out kind of where we're at and where we need to be going. So what do I currently have access to? What do I need to gain access to? And kind of what's going on? What's going on is pretty much what I need to be figuring out. We're going to be trying, hopefully, to do at least a little bit of actual reading, delving into research today. And then the very last thing, and this is purely an if we have time task, is to figure out exactly how I'm planning on doing story analysis for actual play podcasts. This is probably the only bit of research into this topic that I have managed to keep doing during the last couple of months, which is listening to actual play podcasts. I was planning on doing short analyses of a couple of them. So I have a list of I think it's 10 actual play podcasts. I've already listened to one of them. Well, it was re-listen. I'd already listened to it ages before when it initially came out in 2017 or something. So I already re-listened to it. I have some notes. So I'm going to kind of re-look at the notes, re-look at what I was saying I was going to do with the research, and try to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Because at the moment, I've just kind of listened to it. And while I have thought about things that are interesting in the story, I haven't really thought much more in detail with it. And I don't know how much it's going to be a thing that will be more clear when I have something to compare it to. So like if once I've kind of done it with 2 or 3 stories, then I can start kind of looking at it and going, okay, well, these things were kind of similar and these things weren't, and that kind of thing. Or whether it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how much I'm kind of doing it as a straight story analysis. I don't know how much of I'm doing it as a form of field work, as a performance study. I don't know. There's a lot of different takes that I can take with it. So I'm going to kind of maybe think about that. But that's if I have time, because I think getting back on track, which is step 1, is way more important. And actually doing a little bit of reading research is the second level of import, because I think I just need to just delve right back in instead of faffing about trying to figure out more and more and more paths. Some paths are important to sketch out, like the first one that I'm going to be doing of reassessing where exactly I am. But then after that, I think it purely is just a matter of I need to just get going with it. So we're gonna do that. My tea is cold and my laundry is done. So we're going to go deal with that. So I'm trying to decide if I want coffee or not. I feel like I've been having a coffee a lot lately. And I should probably chill it down. But I do feel like I need it. We'll see. Maybe we'll make some coffee. So it has been... I don't remember. It's been like an hour or so or something, roughly. Like an hour and a half, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's been some time. It has been some time. And I have done a little bit of work here. I got distracted a tiny bit at one point, but it's fine. We're back on track. I think that I have at least a rough plan. I have some deadlines that I've now set for myself of some basic things to do and to focus on, with the first kind of research reading being improv, on like improv and creativity and things like that. I think improv will be an interesting place to start from because it's obviously going to inform a lot of how the story unfolds and the way that people engage with it. So I think that that will be, I think, a really important one to start with. So that leaves us with needing to actually like do it. So I've already done a bit of this. Leave it at that. Hold on, sorry. I'm organizing myself at the same time and I am failing to do that. So I grabbed a couple of notes and now I can't remember which ones they were. Anyway, what I'm thinking of doing is grabbing a couple of these. Basically, one of the kind of big ones I had done, or that I had noted on here, was a work by Hallam and Ingold, that is Creativity and Cultural Improvisation and Introduction. I had this on my list for ages. I had it on my list even before I was doing this project, and it just never really lined up with other projects that I was doing, so I never really went around to read it. And I think because of that, it had been like bouncing around in my notes and potential notes for so long that I didn't remember whether or not I had read it. And apparently I have. So I have like a huge amount of notes on at least one. It's an edited volume, I believe. So it's an edited volume. So this is the introduction chapter to the book that I read and was, I was like reading my notes and it was like, this is all new to me, even though I've clearly read it and annotated and took notes. This is why I need to reorganize myself. Oh my god. So anyway, I think I'm going to read some of these. I don't have to read the Ingold one because I've already done that. So that's cool. I've already reread my notes. So I can at least pretend that I remember anything about it. I'll probably look at it in a lot more detail later on when it's more important for me to like actually put direct phrasings into mind. But for now, I kind of got the gist. I've got a lot of really weird, interesting things. So some of them are directly related. You know, it's just a lot on like directly talking about creativity and improvisation and... Oh, this sounds interesting. I love when I find an article that I had no idea that I had. Let's read that one. That one sounds fun. We're gonna read that one. So I think what I'm gonna do is read two of them. I have two articles, so that way they're a bit shorter. I'll know that I can probably finish it as opposed to a book. The thing is though, is that it's about noon-ish, so I might take a short break and then do all of this reading in the afternoon. Although I'm not like massively hungry, but it might be because I just had coffee. But I think we'll take a little bit of a lunch break and then come back at about 12:31-ish and then spend some time reading. Maybe we'll read the long one first and then the short one. Yeah, let's do it. Anyway, break time and then reading. So, this is the 4th time that I am recording this. I know there's something weird going on with my memory card and my computer. I'm going to try to figure it out, but that's a future problem. Basically, really fast. I just finished doing all of the readings. It is currently 2 o'clock. The readings, one was useful, one wasn't. it happens. Luckily, it was just the 50-50 split and not all not useful, as sometimes happens. So the next step that we are going to be swapping over to is figuring out a plan for the story analysis for the actual play podcasts that I am listening to and analyzing, because some of those episodes and those arcs are really long and going to take a lot of hours of my time. So I'm going to need to have a good strategy in place in order to make the most of my time, in order to not waste it. So that's the plan for now. It is currently 2 o'clock. We are gonna go for about an hour because now I have to figure out what is going on with my memory card. So let's do it. All right. I don't know whether the plan that I have will work. That is something to decide in future, but I have some notes of things that I need to be keeping an eye out for, things that I need to be doing, and a potential process through which to do all of that. And that's it. That's it for the research day. It's a bit weird being back in the tabletop sphere, but I'm excited about it and I'm looking forward to being able to do more. What's your favorite form of note-taking? I don't know. What am I supposed to ask people? Anyway, have fun. I hope you enjoyed today. I know that it was kind of all right. Thank you so much for spending the time with me, and I will get to talk to you next time. Bye!